Thank you all for being here. This is, so many of my favorite people are in this room right now. It feels great. We've been looking forward to this moment for a long time. If you don't already know us, Code for Canada is a national nonprofit. That's me. National nonprofit that helps connect innovators in government with people in the tech and design community, both to help build digital capacity in government and to help build what we call civic capacity in the tech and design community and with residents broadly. We're part of a international network. We're a recent addition to a international network called Code for All, which includes folks like Code for America, Code for Australia, Code for Germany and Pakistan and South Africa. So while the civic tech movement has been more active internationally than it has domestically, it means that we're actually able to benefit from a lot of the successes and the learnings of that civic tech movement internationally. That has definitely been the case in our learning about how to stand up a Code for nonprofit. We've learned a lot from our partners in the U.S. and Australia and others. But that the civic tech and digital government leaders are also learning from that international work that's happened in the civic tech space. So it's an awesome time to be doing this work in Canada. There are people from all sectors who are now actively applying human-centered design, agile, and all of the tools of digital product development in their work. And those tools are ones that have been largely refined by consumer technology companies who have, over the past many years, gotten really good at understanding at using things like user research to understanding user needs, and then using iterative and agile processes to be developing products, testing those products with users, and continuously improving them on an incredibly fast basis. Some might say that sometimes they might be too good at that, but those are really powerful tools that have been refined in that world. And so with civic tech, we're taking a lot of those same tools, but we're applying them with a civic purpose. We're applying them to social and civic issues, and that help make our communities better. And that what we're doing is we're aiming to optimize for learning and for impact, and allowing the business models to come second. And this idea of a values-driven civic tech movement is really resonating. Across the country, there are dozens of civic technology and open data groups, residents that are getting together at meetups and hack nights to roll up their sleeves and to apply their digital skills and their other knowledge and experience as residents to improving situations in their community, to making lives better for those in their communities. And along the way, they're learning a ton. They're learning about government, they're learning about empathy and diversity and activism, they're learning civics. It's a civic education through technology that these volunteers in communities across the country are creating for themselves. As well, there's a growing number of civic tech and gov tech startups across the country, inspired by the rapid growth of that sector in the U.S. and internationally. There are entrepreneurs here who are raising money, who are creating jobs, who are building products and creating revenue by building tools that serve residents better and that serve government better. And that people with digital skills are really interested in doing this work too. That a lot of people, myself included, who began my career in digital and software development or design, got into that because of a strong feeling that those skills are ones that would help me have a positive impact on my community, that they allow me to do really meaningful work. But that a lot of people with those skills have struggled to find opportunities to apply them in ways that are truly meaningful. And so when opportunities like the Code for Canada Fellowship come along, we get a really strong response. For our most recent intake, when we opened applications for the second cohort of the fellowship earlier this summer, we had over 200 applications for the 9 fellowships, for the 9 fellows that we'll be hiring. And those represent an incredible talent from software developers, UX designers, and digital product managers from a lot of really recognizable names in the tech field. And they also represent Canadians who've moved abroad to chase opportunities elsewhere, and they see the fellowship, as the kind of program, the kind of opportunity that'll bring them back home. So all of this great work is happening at the same time as really strong commitments from the public sector. That interest in using digital tools and processes to serve residents better. Code for Canada got its very critical start thanks to the team behind the Ontario Digital Service. And we're thrilled to also have the Canadian Digital Service on board as one of our first cohort partners. And one of the most exciting things about doing this work as a nonprofit, but working really closely with folks in government is meeting the amazing public servants who we've met at every level and in every jurisdiction of government, who are doing the hard work of trying to introduce change, trying to introduce new processes, new methods, new tools in order to do their jobs better, in order to serve residents better, in order to make things for their colleagues better. And that they're doing that in environments that are not always optimized for change. So you'll hear from some of the growing numbers of civic tech and digital government leaders in the country who we've been inspired by. We've brought a few of them together today. And we hope that by sharing their stories and that through our programs that we're going to inspire others in Canada to follow their lead. So I want to share just a few snapshots of some of the things that we've been working on to try to support civic tech and public sector innovation work. So as our first round of the fellowship winds down, we're, as I mentioned, spinning up our second cohort. Some folks from our next round of fellowship partners are here in the room. Those are Transport Canada, the Public Service Commission of Canada, and the City of Toronto's Transportation Services Division. We're really super excited to be working with them. Those fellows are going to be starting in October, and we'll be announcing, we'll have picked them and be announcing who they are in a few weeks. In May, we launched Civic Hall Toronto. That's a partnership with the City of Toronto, with the Centre for Social Innovation, and with Civic Hall in New York, which is a space for sort of cross-sectoral collaboration around civic tech and civic innovation in New York. So the way that we've adapted that here, we're calling it a hub for civic innovation and civic tech in Toronto. It's a membership-based program for public servants, and we offer a number of events and training opportunities for the larger community. If you are someone who's working either inside or outside of government in civic tech or digital government in the GTA, you should definitely check it out. It's an amazing place to be. We've got an awesome set of events and training programs coming up. And if you're interested, you should talk to Shay, who should wave if she's here. Okay. Shay's around.
Make sure that the sign in.
Oh, she may be doing sign in. So that'll make her easier to find. And our community program is about creating supports nationally. It's about helping civic tech community organizers to launch and grow volunteer programs in their communities, bringing residents together around those hack nights and meetups. As well as supporting the practitioners and as well as guiding public servants who want to be supporting and collaborating with their local tech communities. A great example of that is a project that just launched. that we're particularly proud of. It's called Bike Space, and woohoo! Thank you. Bike Space is a collaboration between the City of Toronto and the Civic Tech community in Toronto. It's a relatively straightforward app. It's an app to help crowdsource demand for bike parking in the city. If you're at a location where you think there should be new or better bike parking, you can drop a pin on a map, report it. So simple and great. What's extra cool is how it was made. It's as a collaboration between the city and the Civic Tech community and cycling advocates. The city put up a little bit of money to cover expenses and project management, and the result is a web app with amazing UX that helps produce open data that can be used by the city and by others to help deploy that bike parking infrastructure. And open source code that can be adapted for other uses here locally or in any other city or jurisdiction. So we're really happy with both the app that recently launched, but also the precedent that it sets for that kind of government and community collaboration, where everyone's bringing their best to the table and creating something that we would never be able to do on our own. Finally, with our education program, we're offering training and workshops for those who want an introduction to digital government and civic tech, including a very new short format executive workshop that's really specifically targeted to folks at the executive level in government who need help wrapping their heads around what digital transformation is, how this can help them achieve their objectives, and what unique role they play in enabling digital transformation in their contexts. So as we enter our second year, our priorities are to keep learning and improving our programs, to carefully study the impact that we're actually having through these programs, to deepen our relationships across Canada more broadly, and to provide more specific supports for civic tech and govs tech entrepreneurs. We'd love your help in our mission to celebrate and support great civic tech work and the people who are doing it. If you know government innovators who need a hand in learning more about how to introduce new tools and techniques into their work, and who might be interested in working with us, we would love an introduction. If you know someone or are someone who wants to learn how to use your digital skills or how to build digital skills through working on projects that contribute to your community, connect with your local civic tech group or reach out to us and we'd love to talk to you about our community program. And if you or your colleagues or your employees might be interested in contributing to civic tech projects that are going on or to the larger civic tech movement, we would love to talk about how we can make that happen. So finally, I just want to thank everyone who's made this work and this event possible. Certainly our fellows, who you'll hear from soon, but also our very tireless team at Code for Canada, our board and our advisors, our many friends who have informally provided success and advice over the past year or two, and our partners, the Government of Ontario, who I mentioned were critical in getting this organization off the ground, the Government of Canada, and our newest fellowship partner, the City of Toronto, and our other partners, National, Normative, Shopify, TWG, many others who've helped us along the way, and certainly Oliver Wyman, who's for their brilliant advice and research and for hosting us tonight. Thank you very much.